Today we're doing a review of the Fara Valr 3-liter sling. In this video, I'm going to take my experience of reviewing bags for the past 6 years, full time, and tell you everything you need to know to decide if this is the sling for you. We're gonna pack it out, talk about the honest pros and cons, and in the situation that you're not quite sold on buying this sling, we'll give you a couple of alternative slings at the end of the video that you'll wanna stick around for, because here at Nomadization, our goal is to help you find the best bag for whatever you need. I don't care if you get a Fara or a whatever, I'm just here to guide you along the way. Let's talk about the gist of the Fara Valr 3-liter sling bag. Fara is a new company on the scene, and this is my first product that I've reviewed by them, but I've been in contact with their founders. They seem very experienced in the industry, and just, running through this sling and testing it over the past few days, they know what they're doing. Let's talk about some of the bag's top features. It's got sort of a Matrix-y aesthetic, very futuristic and modern. We have a magnetic front flap, which double zipper opening to the front pocket, and double zipper opening to the main compartment, which has a lot of additional internal organization as well. Bit of a ventilated and cushioned back panel, and a padded shoulder strap, which you don't always see on a 3-liter sling. I'll have a lot to say about that 2 chapters from now. Let's do a quick volume and dimension check. Let's take a look at the dimensions real fast. For the dimensions, we've got a back panel max width of 15 inches, a back panel max height of around 7 inches, and around 3 inches of depth. This sling is advertised, as the name suggests, to be 3 liters. So we have our factory grade measuring system to double check that. And yes, as I suspected, ball on the run. Coming in at closer to 1 liter. Let's check out my smaller measuring system. All right, the main compartment's just under 2 liters, 1.5 liters. So you might get 3 liters out of this sling, but if so, it is a very tight 3 liters. The Valr sling currently comes in 4 color options. This is the sling when it's empty, and here's the sling when it's fully packed out and worn on the Nomadization team. Margaret's 5'2", I'm 5'8", and Jason Bagmoa is 6'1". And don't worry, we're gonna pack out this sling throughout the entire review so you can see exactly what it fits. All Fara products are protected by a lifetime warranty, and for all that, this sling runs around $95 USD. And if at any point during this review you're thinking about making a purchase or you want to find out more information, we do suggest doing so using the first link in the description below. Reason being, that link makes sure that you get the best price, and we oftentimes have discount codes. But that link also helps support the Nomadization YouTube channel and team, so we can keep making the best bag reviews on the web. Thank you very much. Okay, let's talk about the outside of the Valr 3-liter sling bag. I'm gonna be honest, I actually am really impressed by this sling, but I would never wear this thing in a million years. No offense to Fara. Just, this is like a bit too techie, matrixy, futuristic, storm fighter, pilot, I don't even know, whatever. Like, it's just not my vibe. But a lot of what's contributing to that, if it is your vibe, is the carbonate-coated 630D nylon. And I love the choice of carbonate coating because it's gonna make the bag very weather resistant. The nylon makes it very abrasion resistant, but carbonate coatings versus PU coatings are significantly less likely to peel. And this is gonna be a really weather resistant sling in general. I'll explain why in detail in the next chapter. Well, yeah, I mean, we'll talk about it now. It's this front flap, right? Like, this is the entire identity of the sling as to where it has this thing, and you're either gonna love it or hate it. And you'll love it because it gives you extra protection from both potential thieves and potential rainstorms. But that also is gonna compromise access, right? Because every time you wanna get into one of these compartments, you gotta open this up and you're fighting with it. Let me know what you think though. Like, is this lid giving you something that you want? I won't lie, that magnetic closure, very satisfying. And Fara did something very smart with the design of this sling that I'll explain in the next chapter that makes the magnetic closure even better. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on this flap design in the comments below. Fara's branding, a bit too loud for my taste, especially for a new brand. You gotta earn that, Fara. Now moving on to the back, we have something you don't see very often on slings, which is sort of like a, ventilated back panel. You got 3D cutouts, we've got padding, which I think is a bit overkill for a 3-liter sling, but I know some people are gonna freaking love this. And honestly, the sling's a bit more on the structured side. Like, it's not super malleable. I mean, you could fold it in half if you want, but like, this is not meant to be like a packable sling. So what that means is it's gonna lay flat against your body, and this, this design will help inspire a bit of airflow. And if you're putting a bunch of heavy gear in there, it will create a bit of a cushion effect as well. I think this is something that I like to see on like a 6-liter sling or bigger, but on a 3-liter sling, which is more like a 1.5 to 2 liter, it's a bit overkill for me. But you know what's not overkill is this shoulder strap. Normally I'd say that I also don't need this on such a small sling, but Fara did a really nice design as to where it's actually very malleable in itself. Versus some competitors, if they put a strap on a sling like this, it'll be very thick and stiff and cardboardy, and it's just like, it's not fun, but this is just like soft. And I really enjoyed the effect that it gave this sling when I was wearing it, as to where it still felt light and not just a bunch of like fabric screaming at me the whole time. The harness is pretty easy to adjust with this system here, but one thing that might be a make or break for some of y'all is the fact that this harness strap is non-removable. 99% sure. Yeah, this bad boy ain't coming off. I mean, it is if you want to cut it off, but you'll never get it back on, right? So if you're hoping to have a sling that can double as a tech pouch, this ain't it. But for me, not a deal breaker. Like, there are some compromises that slings have to make to be two products in one. For Fara, they said they just want to make the best sling possible. And we'll talk a bit more about the comfort once the sling is fully packed out. So without further ado, let's move on to the next section and talk about the inside of the Fara Valr Sling 3 liter. Remember, to get inside, we have to remove the flap. Also should be noted, there's no back pockets in this sling. We only got the two front pockets, both of which are openable with double zippers. Now, a sling this size is only meant to be a pocket reliever. And what I mean is it's only meant to fit like smaller bits of gear that you would normally put in your pockets. Now, it can maybe fit a water bottle. You can see my 24-ounce Columbia squeezes in there. But then you're totally obstructing all the smaller pockets. And it's just not what this sling was designed for, but it is nice to know that it has the versatility to do both things if you need. And we got a tale of two cities as to where the large compartment is filled with pockets, but the front compartment has no additional organization. So for me, I'm gonna put my AirPods, snack, tissues in there. But yeah, for the main compartment, oof, strap in, there's a lot to talk about here. We got a microfiber pocket. This is gonna be lined with a scratch-resistant fabric, making it ideal for your sunglasses. And then, see that we got these two pockets here, both of which are sleeves, and both of which secure magnetically. Now, also know it's getting tight in there. You know, this is one negative about the thicker material. A 640 with a polycarbonate coating, it feels thick. It's like a pair of jeans, dude, like really expensive denim. Not that it feels, it's just the thickness, right? Like, and that means that it's going to get crowded in there faster than if it was like a super thin, wavy, dancey, loosey-goosey, malleable fabric, like a 300D ripstop. But you can see we can throw our wallet right there. If you're traveling with this sling, this back sleeve could be a great spot for your passport. But also inside here, we have other smaller pockets, but beware, they're gonna be harder to reach. Like as this sling is packed out, like, I don't know, it's tight. I'm just gonna reiterate that. Got a really nice pen sleeve up here. I love that. Putting my highlighter in there. In this pull tab, you can throw your meds and you can just see what's going on here, you know? Pocket reliever, lots of organization, and then a bit of room in the middle when the bag's fully packed out. We're gonna throw a battery on the side, second battery on the other side. Throw my keys in here as well. Chapstick right there. Oh wait, I forgot. We actually have a little key leash in here. I can go ahead and pop my retractable key leash on there, making it a bit easier to open and close my door. Let's say you have a hard shell glasses case, and I think that's all we're gonna, oh, will that even get in? No, I pushed it too far. Now, what's really nice about this is I've reviewed a lot of backpacks and slings that have like a top flap like this. Let's say like, for instance, the Bellroy Melbourne backpack. Great bag, but when the bag is fully packed out, it then pushes the flap up, which means the magnets can never connect. And then it's sitting like this and nobody's having a good time. But Fara has done a really nice job by giving you these zippers here, so it sort of constricts how much you can pack out, which means that the lid always closes. Like every time it just lands perfectly in place, which is an amazing design choice. Like I love that. And it's very rare for these magnetic top loaders to have that. So tip of the hat to them, very nicely done. Now, before we jump into the final sections, I wanna let you know that if you're enjoying this review, you might be a bit of a bag nerd. And if that's the case, I'd like to tell you that here at Nomads Nation, we don't just do epic backpack and sling and tech reviews on the Nomads Nation YouTube channel, but we also have the Nomads Nation newsletter. And I'm so proud of that newsletter because we're taking this whole gear things to the next level. Everything in the world of carry, EDC, and travel, we're bringing directly to your inbox. I'm talking industry trends, latest releases, limited edition drops, plus access to our discount codes and letting you know like where the best prices and deals are, all delivered directly to your inbox. So if you want to keep your finger on the pulse of what's happening in this incredible community, be sure to look for this globe emoji in the description below. I hope to see you in your inbox. All right, pros and cons. Pro number one, just the perfect design and execution of this top lid. Pro number two will be because of that, all of the security from theft and weather that you get. And pro number three, I never thought I'd see the day where I love a strap like this, but they just executed it so well. So the shoulder strap, love it. But on the flip side, all bags have cons. For me, it's a bit too matrixy, aesthetic-wise, for my taste. Con number two is because of the thicker materials, this bag does start to feel a little tight, a little fast. And con number three, while it's advertised as 3 liters, I'm gonna say it's definitely gonna carry closer to 1.5 or 2 liters. So drum roll, let's do the overall scores then. And just to throw this out there, the scores that I'm about to give are just my personal scores based on my experience of using the bag. First up for comfort, I give it like it's just a really comfortable sling as a crossbody. It should be noted, like, this is not gonna be a waist bag that you can double up as a fanny. You're only going crossbody with this thing, so because of those limitations, can't be worn as a tech pouch, can't be worn as a hip belt, hip pack, that's the word, pack, not belt. It makes it incredibly comfortable as a crossbody, but less versatile as other types of bags. So comfort, perfect, 5 out of 5. For value, at 95 USD, I give it a 3 out of 5. It's sort of in line where I see other brands. Fara is doing some really innovative stuff here. There's no doubt about that. But in terms of the bang for your buck, I think they're sort of in line with where I'd hope them to be. So I stick with that, 3 out of 5. And overall for the sling, give it a 3.5 out of 5. I think it's a really interesting bag that's gonna have some really annoying limitations in terms of its capacity and how finicky it might be to use those internal pockets. But that aside, if you like the futuristic look and you're looking for a small sling that can really help organize all your smaller bits of gear, this thing slaps. And just a reminder, if you're gonna make a purchase or you wanna find out more information, we do recommend doing so with the first links in the description, just to make sure you get the best price. And if we have any discount codes, that's what they'll be. But if you're not quite sold, let me run you through those alternatives that I told you about earlier in the video. First up, if you're new to the channel, be sure to watch our Nomads Nation leaderboard video, which I'm linking above, where the whole Nomads Nation teams picks our favorite bags in different categories, so you can see what the best options are on the market. But if we're close with the Fara Valr, here's 2 specific options that are close, but just have a couple of subtle differences. First up will be the modern Dayfarer sling. Great pick for you if you like the size and you like some sort of like front flap. Modern Dayfarer offers both, but with a very different aesthetic. One that I think is a lot more sophisticated, a little more subtle, less matrixy, but has a few less pockets. I don't think the top lid is quite as good. And my second recommendation is gonna be the Inateck Crossbody. This is a great pick for you if you like that sort of futuristic vibe and you want a billion pockets, but you want something without the top lid, sort of a traditional open and closing system, and it's a bit more malleable and just has a different feel to it. And it comes in at a little bit lower of a price point. Honestly, all 3 slings are awesome. You just gotta pick the one that best suits your needs. And to learn more about the 2 alternatives, you can just go ahead and watch these videos right here. If you got any questions about any bags, be sure to let me know in the comments below or in the Nomads Nation subreddit. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Aaron, this is Nomads Nation, and we'll catch you next time.